So, picture this. You've just rolled out an absolutely brilliant new process. Efficiency is way up, costs are down, everyone's high-fiving. But then, you know what happens? Slowly, almost without anyone noticing, the old habits start to creep back in. So, how do you stop a great improvement from just fading away? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down today. We're talking about how to build a system that keeps that excellence locked in for the long haul.
It's a story we've all seen play out, right? A process gets a major upgrade, and things are great for a while. But check back in 6 months, and suddenly performance has slipped right back to where it started. So why does this keep happening? It's almost like improvements have an expiration date. Without some kind of constant reinforcement, they just naturally decay over time.
There's actually a name for this. It's called process reversion. And you got to think of it like organizational gravity. It's this invisible force that's always pulling people and processes back to the old, comfortable, familiar ways of doing things. Reversion is the default setting. So to fight it, we can't just hope for the best. We need to build a system that actively pushes back against that gravity.
Okay, so how do we build that system? Well, it all starts with our first pillar, documentation. Now hold on, I know what you're thinking. This is not about creating some dusty binder that just sits on a shelf collecting cobwebs. This is about building a living, breathing playbook for your process, one that your team will actually want to use.
This process playbook becomes your single source of truth. It's not just a boring list of steps either. A good playbook explains the why behind the how. You know, why this new step is absolutely critical for quality, or why we do it this way to prevent that specific error. This makes sure that all that crucial knowledge isn't just trapped in a few key people's heads. It's captured and shared with the whole team.
So what goes into a great playbook? Well, these are the key pieces. Your process maps give you that 30,000-foot view, the big picture. SOPs are your ground-level, detailed instructions. Then you've got control charts and KPIs. That's your dashboard, showing you in real time if you're on track. And the FMEA? Oh, that's your crystal ball. It helps you look into the future and figure out what might go wrong before it does. Put them all together and you've got a complete toolkit for success.
All right, so you've built this amazing playbook. It's clear, it's comprehensive, it's perfect. But how do you know if anyone's actually using it? That brings us right to our second pillar, audits. This is where you inspect what you expect.
You've probably heard this quote before, and it perfectly captures the mindset you need here. Audits are not about catching people doing something wrong or pointing fingers. Not at all. It's about a health check for your process. Think of it like a friendly doctor's visit, just to make sure that what's happening in reality actually matches what's in the playbook. It's all about protecting those hard-won gains.
And the audit itself is just a simple but really powerful four-step loop. First, you review the documentation. What should be happening? Second, you go and observe reality. What's actually happening? Third, you identify the gaps between the two. And fourth, you work with the team, not against them, to implement corrections and close those gaps. This simple loop is the real engine of continuous improvement.
So, once you've used your audits to find and close those gaps, you are ready for our third pillar, standardization. This is where you truly lock in your improvements by establishing the one best way to do a task, and then making sure everyone follows it every single time.
I mean, the contrast on this slide really says it all, doesn't it? Without standardization, you get chaos, variation, guesswork. It's a recipe for disaster, for defects, and inefficiency. But with standardization, you get consistency, predictability, quality, and clarity. You're literally replacing chaos with control.
Okay, so we've got our three pillars: documentation, audits, and standardization. But the real magic isn't in any one of these things by itself. Nope, the magic is in how they all work together as a single, interconnected system. Let's call it the sustainment cycle.
See, it all starts with your documentation. That playbook we talked about, it defines what good looks like. It is the gold standard.
Then you bring in your audits to verify that standard. They're constantly checking reality against that playbook, making sure you don't start drifting off course.
And it's that powerful one-two punch. A clear standard from the documentation, plus regular verification from the audits that gets you to true, sustainable standardization. And here is the most critical takeaway of this whole thing. This is not a one-time project. It is a virtuous cycle. It's a loop. What you learn from your audits doesn't just disappear. It feeds right back into your documentation. You update the playbook, you make it better, you raise the standard, and then the cycle begins all over again, getting smarter and stronger with every single turn. So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. Is your business just changing, or is it truly improving? Because anybody can make a change. That part's easy. But making that change last, that's what defines excellence. By building this system of documentation, audits, and standardization, you're not just changing things for a day or a week. You're building an engine for excellence that lasts.